In this video, we're going to go over the pricing and the invoice setup. Now, once you first logged into your account and you're looking at the dashboard, if you look to the left-hand side and you'll see a column of icons, the second one from the bottom is the pricing icon. So we're going to go ahead and click on that to be taken to the pricing setup screen. Now, once we are here on the pricing screen, we're going to see towards the top left, we've got a few different tabs here. We've got federal, state, discount, and additional charges. Looking at the federal first, we have three different options, and we're going to start from left to right. We've got our first one, fixed rate for all returns. So, and we'll have an option to enter a dollar figure here, and you can enter whatever you like. Now, for this option, every return will be the same price. It doesn't matter how simple or how complex or how many forms, they will all be this exact same price. Our next option here, set price as per form. So now with this one, we can set a price for every form in the return. So we have our main forms with our 1040, schedules 1, 2, and 3 with the vouchers, amongst more. And you can click on schedules to view all the schedules, others for other forms, the worksheets. You can search for the forms by number, by their starting number, or you can click on show all, which will give you every single form. And then that way, if this form appears in the tax return, then it will be charged its respective price. The third option here is set price manually after every return. And for this option here, you don't enter the price until you go and create the invoice. You get to enter whatever price that you see fit. If it's complex, you can enter a higher price than usual. If it's a simple return, you can enter a lower price. Whatever you see fit for that return, you get to enter that. Now, no matter what option you select, whether it's fixed rate, per form, or manually, make sure that you click on Save Federal Pricing. Alright, and now that our federal pricing has been saved and updated, we're going to continue on to the state pricing. And to do that, you can proceed by clicking on the button, Continue to State Pricing, or you can click on the tab. Either one, they take us to the same place. Now on the state pricing, we've got a similar setup to the federal with one additional option here. We have our fixed rate for all state returns, so it doesn't matter which state, how many states you've got, whether it's a complex state like New York or a simple state return like Missouri, it's going to be the same price. Over here, set price for each state. That means we can assign to each state in particular, so if you have a multi-state return, they will you can give your more complex states higher prices than your simpler states. Then we also have our setting price manually, which just like the federal, you would wait until you're actually creating the invoice to enter the price, and you can enter the price however you see fit. And then our fourth option here is set the price for all forms in each state. So we'll be given a drop down here, and Alabama comes up first. And you'll see here are all the forms for Alabama. We can assign each form their price. And once we've done that, we can go on to our next one. If we go to California, we have all the California forms. We can assign them their price. Whatever we choose, regardless, just like the federal, whether it's set manually or per form or fixed rate, just make sure you click on Save State Pricing. Alright, and now that our state pricing has been saved, let's take a look at discount and additional charges. So if we go to discount here, we can add discounts to our return. Now these discounts aren't automatically applied unless you would like to default them to apply to every return. But let's just do an example here. So if I want to charge a family rate, let's say $25, and I'm going to click on Add Discount. So now I have the option for every invoice that I create, I can apply this family discount to all federal returns. Now as you see here, it's not going to default to all returns, so you do kind of have to opt into it to get it to apply. And if you need to come back and edit for whatever reason, click on this icon to edit, or click on the red trash can to delete. And once we're done here, we can go over here to additional charges. And we can do the exact same process here. So I'm going to enter a description for an additional charge. Let's see if I want a paper file. $25 fee, and I'm going to add additional charges. And just like the discounts, we can see down below, this is not defaulting to all returns. You would have to opt in to it. You'd have to check a box to make it apply first. If you need to edit, come here, click on the edit icon. If you need to throw it away or delete this one, just click on the red trash can. And that is essentially how you set up the pricing. And real quick, before we move on to the invoice setup, the business pricing setup is the exact same way. You would just go to the business tab up here at the top, click on it, go to the pricing icon over on the left hand side, and fill out the business pricing just like you would for the 1040 returns. The only difference is across the top you would have your different types of business returns. So you can do it for your set your pricing for your 1120, 1120s, 1065s, and so on. Now, let's take a look at the invoice setup. This is something that has to be done before any returns can be e-filed. So to access the invoice setup, we're going to look up here at the top, and we're going to click on the Setup tab. And then we're going to go over here on the left in this column. We're going to click on Settings. We're going to go to Firm Level. And then we're going to go to Invoice Information. Alright, now on this screen we do have to provide 3 pieces of information. We do have to provide the number prefix, the starting sequence number, and office location. And the 2 check boxes down below, they are optional. But for number prefix, whatever you'd like to start. So I usually, personally, I like to select the current year. So I'm going to put in the current year. The starting sequence number, I like the number 1. And the office location, anything that would be applicable to your location. It could be the name of the city you're in, the road you're on, the district. So for ours, I'm just going to put in Maine. And you can check these boxes down here. If you'd like to treat all bank payments as an invoice until it is funded, it's been fully paid, you will have to come back and possibly fill out post-payment details to indicate that invoice has been taken care of once the payment comes through. And then your second option here is to show a detailed fee disclosure for all the bank products. These are optional. They're not required if you don't want them. But once you've entered all your information here, just make sure you click on Save Changes. And we will see that our invoice information has been updated successfully. And that is how you set up the pricing and the invoice for your software.